Hello. Hello. Now it's off. Oh, it's on, sorry.
Welcome to the 2023 Tasmanian Rugby Union Division 1 Men's Grand Final, brought to you from Rugby Park here. I've got Shaun Killian with me in the commentary box today. Hi, Shaun.
How are you going, Deon?
I'm going very well. Pretty excited about today's match. It's all happening out here. Beautiful day, a bit of a breeze swirling around. Launceston team coming out onto the field already. We'll see Taroona join them shortly. But what are you expecting to see today, Shaun, with this weather and these two sides?
Well, firstly, it wouldn't be Hobart if there wasn't a breeze. But no, mate, I think it's been a good game. We've obviously got the two informed teams playing this season. They both played high, I suppose high speed, big contact, big collision rugby this year, which is awesome. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that today. I've got no doubt that Taroona, after last year's grand final, they want to get one over Launceston this year, and Launceston obviously, having got that win in the death, they're probably going to be out there to prove that it doesn't take just to the death to win, and they're going to want to try and finish things, if they can, maybe a bit before the final whistle.
Absolutely, I think both teams will be wanting to get out there and put some points on early, I think, and trying to assert a little bit of dominance over the opposition. And I think, as you said, last year we saw Launceston come from behind. A couple of weeks ago we saw it was 24-all with only about 10 or 15 minutes to go, and Launceston came over the top of Taroona then. So anything can happen out here today, absolutely anything, and we'll be looking forward to seeing how it all goes. Just the last of the players shaking hands there. Not a huge crowd over on the other side of the field today. You can see a few more people just making their way up. The Taroona supporters who were standing outside the club rooms as the teams ran out. But we'll...
the Taroona faithfuls.
That's right. There are a couple of Launceston players, Launceston supporters over there with Launceston flags in the Taroona zone. That'll be interesting. But looking forward to a great match. 2 weeks ago when these teams met, it was a really, really thrilling game of rugby, and I'm expecting something similar today when we're playing for a big trophy on the line. And refereed, as always, by the ever-faithful and trustworthy Craig Gardner. Ball comes up, and Bell can't quite take it. Spills it back, but has been found by teammate in Tom Scarf, who played a really, really excellent game last time these two teams met. Alatimu has a bit of a run now. Agayava pushes it out wide, and the ball is on the boot. Goes down to Bird, who also had a blinder last week, and he avoids Chand and gets around. They finally get him to ground though, and he'll be looking to continue the form that he had running out of fullback last week against the Bulls. Towie now always makes a lot of metres with the ball. Taroona now lost it, and it's been turned over. And then no advantage, so the knock-on.
It's a good continuity there by Taroona initially. They got that ball, Bird collected that kick, made sure that he stayed in from that touchline. Obviously he wanted to try and have a run down that touchline, but made sure that he stayed in play. And then with some really two quick phases of quick ball, which got them on the front foot. Unfortunately, a bit of a fumble there, but they actually looked like they're getting some good continuity.
Yeah, making and just getting past that gain line is one of the really big things. Defensively, both teams need to put some pressure on. I'll be really interested to see what happens here. A couple of weeks ago, Launceston, different centre pairing. Truder, who's playing at inside centre today, was at outside, and he had Kellendi Yavatoka inside him, who's a big machine. But today they've got Chand, and he hits into contact and loses it. Slipped through the first tackle though, Johnette. And now Taroona have got some advantage. Ball goes behind Holman though, and finds Bird. He gets taken down by Lombard. And some scrappy play here. Taroona not really making any ground. Imagine that advantage is probably gone. And now Thomas goes for a run. The last man standing, Lewis Thomas, of the three Glenorchy players who moved to Taroona this year, with his brother taking an injury, and Aaron Lovell also having a season-ending injury earlier, so they're missing him. But Taroona doing nicely, running out there, making some metres on the far side. Lean taken nicely in the tackle by Dudman for Launceston. Lagrange wanting to know what's happening here, and Aidan Fenny leaves the ball behind, but it goes forward, and just a little bit of disarray there, I think. The organisation wasn't quite there for Taroona, with Lagrange wanting to know what was happening.
Yeah, they looked like they got some good phases together, and then they were a bit unsure of, I suppose, where they were going or who they were feeding. I think also this wind, coming back towards the side, that wind's playing a bit of havoc. He's throwing that ball straight into the wind, so it's holding up a little bit. And, unforced errors, I suppose, is the two things that have let them down in this first start.
And that's the pressure of grand final footy. Everyone's a little bit on edge. Peters now. It'll be interesting to see what he can bring to today's game, because he's a total game turner, and get the ball in his hands. And look, here he goes already. He's through, and Champ now has the ball. Bird's going to run him down though, take him to touch, and he does. So, but a great run. Call TJ Peters. He's the man, and they didn't get anywhere near him.
He's got really good vision as well. I think that's one of the things is, when you run, he's got good footwork, he's got good speed, but he's also got good vision about decision making, which is good to see him, step back inside and take that space. Yeah,
and he'll do it all day if they let him as well. Great countering there, but the penalty advantage has come. Might have been offside there from Launceston, so Taroona will have a bit of a free shot at their exit here. Ball goes back, finds Kazarine on the left-hand side. He's a left footer, so he'll enjoy coming around there. We're going to come back for some offside play. And it's not a bad spot to have a penalty for Taroona there to get out of here. And
I think discipline's going to be key. I mean, obviously in any game, discipline's key, but particularly finals that are really tight. If you give away penalties like that for offside, just taking that little step makes such a big difference. But penalty like that in a game like this makes a huge difference. Kazarine's probably going to kick it 40 or 50 metres down the park, and they've got the wind behind them, and they'll be down in that 22 area, I suppose.
That's right, and it's a total waste, really, a pointless penalty to give away. It's just saying just a foot. Oh, well taken in the end. So not enough height on that kick from Kazarine. Went low, and maybe worrying about the wind a little bit. Maybe hoping the wind was going to help him out. Oh. Be careful there. Look, Finney Towie coming in and making a big shot. It's pretty high. And through they come again. Yessi Alatimu.
Picked up by the touchy. The assistant referee on the side, I think she's picked that up, and I think Gardner's potentially, yep, he has.
We've got an offside actually, so not high. I don't know that it looked high. It's just one of those ones where he didn't really wrap the arms, and in the clinch. You don't want to go for 10 minutes for something like that, particularly this early in the grand final. But again, just offside play, and gives Elijah Agaiava the opportunity to kick. Looks like the wind's sort of maybe favouring him a little. No, it's
he doesn't have a bad boot on him, Elijah. Plays a bit of AFL when he was up with some Pats. I know I watched him up there play a bit of AFL for some Pats, and he's got a decent boot on him.
Yeah, interesting actually now, just trying to pick the wind, but you can see those flags on the other side of the field, which direction they're blowing. They're sort of blowing really favouring Taroona at the moment, but it's a funny wind. It's kind of blowing semi across the field. So nice jump up there from Callum Lyle. Brings the ball to ground, and Launceston look for the maul. Get driven back though. Stops on. And Peters gives it to Agaiava. He gives it to Truder on the inside, who gets hit by Finney Towie again. Loving that, but a nice quick ball. And the kick through from Agaiava doesn't get past the defenders, but he regathers. And now Peters has it. Oh, held down. Just held there by Tuivasa from Taroona. And he goes again. So TJ Peters slips the tackle. He's through. Is he over the line? No, he's got to be close though. Referee's right on the spot. And what's the call? We're coming out for a scrum to Launceston.
Big scrum.
All right, so ball coming back there, no try. Taroona certainly wanted wanted something out of that. I'm not sure whether they felt that they'd managed to try and turn that ball over and the player was holding on. Couldn't see from here. But Launceston, prime position here, 5 metre scrum. TJ Peters with the put in. Wouldn't be surprised to see Alatimu take it from the back. It's a nice drive, and they go. Peters can't get through though. Lagrange holds him up with some assistance from Harrison. And now the ball just comes across. There's a good drive on there. They're getting close. See the Taroona players on the line here. And they decide to push it a little bit wider. And comes back inside Agayava, but he's held up. Great work there by Jack Hardy in the number 4 for Taroona. Relatively inexperienced player, been thrown into this first team today with Enzo Balducci receiving a week's suspension for getting too many yellow cards after last week. And really great work there by Hardy to hold that ball up and give his team the opportunity to get out of here. Meanwhile, Lachlan Wood, just off to the left of the camera, is down. An interesting short kick here. Very interesting option there. Not sure why Taroona opted for the short play. But there's a lot of pressure on, and they're going to hold Lagrange up here and turn it over. There's no way that ball's going to come out when he got pounced on by 4 Tigers. And there we have it. So ball goes back to the Tigers. Strange option, I think, that one, to go short for Taroona.
Yeah, very interesting option that. I think, you got a bit of a breeze to your back. You probably want to kick it down and just really get out of your own zone. If Launceston carry it up, they're probably going to get as far as maybe the 22 or maybe even only the 10. So yeah, I would have tried to use that win myself. But I think there's probably some tactics there. Maybe they're looking at maybe a few ideas on some of their players and where they can maybe see some weaknesses. Yeah, interesting.
And yeah, Lagrange, usually a good decision maker there, so I don't know whether he felt that the wind was not going to help him and he wanted to kick this side, but in the end, Launceston too sharp on the defence and they've turned it over and they've got a really good opportunity here. Again, putting some pressure on. Truder running inside. Hits lean. Cops a stinger, I think, there on the shoulder. Nice run from Truder. Now, Scarf. Got some support there. And Taroona need to get some defenders out wide. There's a pass going over the top to Vonna Yao Yao, who's a flash. And just manages to hold on to it. And the ball gets flung inside. I think we called a knock on earlier. If that was, looked like Bell or Lombard maybe. I can never tell the difference between those two with their headgear. But the headgear is different today, actually. Lombard's got the South African colours on there today.
Yeah, it was good to see them use that width. I think probably pushing themselves into that touchline wasn't the best option. They had good width on the ball, but staying out of that 5 metre channel in that zone is probably a better option for continuity rather than trying to throw that ball back in and a few Hail Marys there.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago that was the first try of the match. Actually came from a very similar wide cut from Agayava to Vonna Yao Yao, actually. So great scrum there from Launceston. Really put the pressure on. Taroona might still have a chance to get it out. They do. They've just got onto it, and instead of kicking out of there, they opt to run it, and now there's trouble because Tuivasa lost it, and Truder has got the numbers outside him. Here they go. Oh, the knock on. Dear, the numbers out wide, and I think there are just 2 of them there, both snatching at that ball.
That's the second time they've decided to, first one's the line dropout, short play. Second time now they're in their own 22 and choosing to run the ball up. Interesting decisions there. Just still trying to work out why they, would want to try and run it out of their own area.
Yeah, again, that's twice now. I wonder if this wind is actually causing a bit of an issue with their confidence in kicking out of there.
Or it might be the fact that the back three are really electric and they're worried about, you know, getting up in a defensive line because the back three are.
Yeah, definitely true. Yeah. We'll see if they persist with that strategy as the game unfolds. And again, the Launceston scrum. Lagrange decides, no, I'm going to roost this one out of here, and it's a great kick. Brings the ball close down to halfway. And the line-out throw will come from Tungy for the Tigers. They go to the front. Harrison gets up and well taken to the bottom there too by Lagrange. Fenny goes for a bit of a run. And Thomas comes in, gives it off to Lean, who dishes it off to Towie, taken nicely in the tackle. A lot of good disruption at the breakdown by Launceston. Taroona would like another knock on, so bad pass there from Kazarine. Taroona would like a little bit more structure around there, and Launceston not giving it to them. The advantage coming.
Come on, Tigers, come on!
And now the Tigers. Pressure, quick pressure up there from Holman on Lyle. An interesting little kick there from Bell. Bird gets onto it. And they've still got the ball in possession. Now the Penguins. So probably, I don't know, Bell with a weird option there to kick himself.
There's a bit of panic.
Yep. Tuivasa slips through the first tackle. There's not a lot of support there. The number one there, TJ Peters, cover defender, doing good work there for his team getting back. And another drop ball. Fenny, that's twice now. He's running onto those balls and just hasn't taken it. It's just interesting strategy. He's done it twice. He tries to catch that ball with one hand, just like puts the outside arm out instead of going with two. And I don't know whether there's a bit of a problem there between him and the halfback they need to work out.
Yeah, I suppose that's one of those things we always teach the youngsters. Hands towards your target, reach out, reach for that ball early.
Show where you want that ball to be passed, and I don't know if he's doing it. It's just couple of times now, so pressure on. Tigers obviously applying, putting the pressure on to the Penguins, and they're making a lot of mistakes.
Launceston have had a really good scrum the last few scrums. It wouldn't surprise me if they start to put more pressure on that scrum time.
Yep. Truder has another run, just jumps over Kazarine and dishes it off to Peters. He steps one way. Oh, they don't hold on to him. Here he goes, TJ Peters. Gets around, just again carrying the ball in two hands, causing all kinds of headaches for the Penguins. And Peters scores a ripper of a try. Just got all the way through. No one was able to hold on to him. And I think Jewindham came across at the end to try and make the last tackle. Was unable to get him. And Peters puts on the first points of the day and puts the Tigers up by 5.
Yeah, that initial break came through the centre area. I think running that Kazarine, I think he might have just over-tracked and landed up slipping over on that line.
Just the dish off there from Trudy. You can see on the replay it was exceptional running from TJ. Found his way all the way through. Now he'll kick to put his team up by 7. Damaging play there. We know exactly what he's capable of, and Taroona are going to have to be on top of him all day. And slices that one, yeah, absolutely.
Really well. He knew it was going to bring it across. Perfect. Aimed at the top left, upright.
That's right. Just see it as well. Yeah, aim to the left, and you feel the wind. It's really strong at the moment, blowing in Taroona's favour, and yeah, TJ read that nicely. So Tigers, after really just holding Taroona out, putting a lot of pressure on, not over-committing and forcing some errors. They've not had a lot of possession, the Tigers, but Pressure's on. Kazarine making a terrible error there with the kick.
Yeah, compounding errors, unfortunately. I suppose that's a part of, you know, finals rugby when you've got the pressure on, and you know you see it not often, but you see it from time to time, and even in international rugby where you come back to the kick-off, you feel a bit of that pressure, and you just don't execute. So he just probably needs to take a few deep breaths, refresh, and start again. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. You know, it's probably the third season he's had playing at fly half with Taroona, and he's played some good rugby, but he is young and a fair bit of pressure on his shoulders there as well, so he just needs to clear his head.
That's right, and he, I don't know if in the back of his head somewhere is that the kick that he didn't put into touch right at the end of the game last year, the grand final, which if it had a made touch, Taroona would have had a line out, and I think the game would have ended, and they'd have won, but instead Launceston ran the ball all the way back, so maybe playing a little bit of a niggle in the back of his mind. Alatimu now finds Tangi, and the ball goes through. Lagrange has got it. There's no one home. He sees it, but he goes high, and the ball comes back. Lombard drops it, but manages to regather. Takes it to the halfway. And an interesting pass over the top there. Comes back to Nisa Rodabua. One of my favourites out there for Launceston is a dasher. And look, Vonnie Yao Yao's picked it up and has gone through as well. Has Bird got the pace? I don't think Bird's got the pace here. And Vonnie Yao Yao has run about 80 metres. Dogleg across the field, and they can't catch him. Bird just didn't have the pace to chase him. And Launceston, as quick as you like, are now 2 tries up. And they'll be very happy with that. In fact, I know they are because I can hear them right next to me.
Take that back to, I suppose, to, you know, they got the turnover back here. The kick that came from Lagrange probably should have come down towards this corner, went a bit high in the air. And I think that's probably where it started, you know. Just didn't get enough of that, didn't get enough push forward. And that's where they started that play, had a few people out of position in terms of defensive line, and you know, just broke a hole and he was gone.
That's right. I think Lagrange was looking to put that ball deeper, and instead he just got underneath it and put it up too high, and it gave too much, as you say, caught his team all out of place in their defensive patterns there. 14-0, not the start that Taroona would have wanted.
Yeah, I think for Kazarine now, I suppose this kickoff, my opinion, needs to probably go deep, put it down and towards the corner, try and put it up against a touch line, you know, 5 metres from the touch line, put it up in a corner and use that touch line as a defender, and then force them to kick that, either receive it back and attack or get it out on the line out, and then you're on the attack from there.
So they haven't had any good field position for a long time, Taroona. They've been deep in defence for the last probably 10 minutes at least, and they'd like to be able to play some rugby in this half of the field. Dudman now having a bit of a run, and looks like been stolen there by Towie. Got onto that nicely and pulled it out without the penalty. Now Lean finds Thomas. Good option for Thomas to run back in field. And that one's been stolen too by Bell. Lean needs to let him go though. Nice view from above from our camera up the top there. And the turnover, so both ways, players not hanging on to the ball. And they got numbers out here, Launceston. And Eddington struggling with some speed out there too. They've got around the outside of him. Ball gets passed off, and here's the try scorer, Vonnie Yao Yao. And now it comes back to Truder. He fends off, and he's going to be run down by by Dewington, but not quickly enough. And the tries are coming thick and fast now for the Tigers. 3 tries in about the last 5 minutes, and Taroona now really with their backs to the wall. Their defensive structures just being shot, and Launceston seeing their pace out wide is going to be a problem for the Penguins.
Yeah, it was a good turnover down here from Taroona. They obviously, you know, they not too sure if that's a tactic to go straight down the middle for their kickoff, but they went down the middle. They had the turnover, you know, got the ball, had a few phases, but then I suppose just didn't quite close that gate at the breakdown and had the ball turned over again. And then it was just open field and using the pace.
That's right, and the Taroona backline defence out here, they've been run around. You see the two centres just outpaced. And then Vonnie Yao just keeping his feet. Truda gets it and fends off Shapper and Tucker, and the line's all his.
He's a big unit, but he, geez, I'll tell you, he carries that weight well. He's got some speed on him.
So he's had quite a few carries today, and just hanging on to the ball is what Taroona centres have had a couple of opportunities and have lost it. So everything now to do the Penguins. 19 points down, 23 minutes on the clock. It just comes down to defence, really. Taroona have just been opened up a number of times by Launceston runners. And again, the shortish kick taken by Bell, and Holman makes the tackle. Launceston go to the middle. Alatimu just skips around Clayton and is eventually taken down. Again, they shovel it out quickly. They want to get that ball out wide, Launceston. And now they got big numbers back on the left, and Taroona have not gotten across here at all. There's about 5 Tigers players. Now they get across the defenders. But and good option there from Agaiava to just put it through, but he's kicked it straight down the middle to Bird, who's lost it. So everything going wrong for the Penguins. Bird had so much time there, that rotten bounce on the ball, but just in the end he's rushed to pick it up, and Tigers now with another attacking opportunity, and the Penguins backs against the wall.
I'd like to maybe see them try and, you know, get that ball out a bit quicker. They got some good phases going. They had a lot of numbers, and there were only probably 3 defenders out here. And get that ball out, and I mean, they've got the speed. We know they've got the speed, but maybe identifying that space and using that space early. I think the kick was a good option, but as you said, he's kicked it straight down, you know, Ollie Bird's throats. He probably could have kicked it down towards his corner and had some runners, but it ended up working out for them anyway.
Yeah, it's one of those things, I think, coming across there, Agaiava, I think he's a right foot. He's kicked that with his right foot, but it needed a left foot kick in the way he was facing, and came off the outside of his boot, but worked out all right in the end.
Centre scrum, there's a good opportunity here to make some decisions.
Yep, and they push it out. Peters dummies one way, and Chand is around, and he's given Lombard some space, and they're going to strike. Oh,
that's trouble. That is big
interesting.
trouble.
Went high around the shoulders. Oh, it probably looked worse the first time. I think I just caught it on the replay, and sort of arms around the shoulders.
Slipped up. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a bit high, but looking at that replay, you can probably see it slipped up a little bit, which means that it's not quite a cold material.
Good run there from Bell, though, hitting it up in the middle, and Taroona really in trouble now. And here he goes, Marika Nandolavu, and the tries are flooding in for the Tigers as they go ahead even further now, 24-0. And the Penguins just in disarray in defence, and the Tigers bring their A game today. Just come back. This is the high tackle earlier. It wasn't overly dangerous, but definitely high.
Yep, agreed. Launceston, for me, have definitely used, you know, I think they've used their physicality well, broken a few tackles, really got some good go forward, and once they get that go forward, probably sucking in a fair few of the Taroona players to counter that, and, you know, maybe the Taroona players need to rather not worry about that breakdown, fan out, work on their defensive line.
Yeah, and confidence when you get in front, and they're now 4 tries up. once you're this far in front, you're going to potentially put the foot down and try and just score at will. And Launceston now are going to probably throw their usual structure to the wind, I reckon, and just throw the ball around and try and really put this out of question. But it's a long way back for the Penguins, and they're not looking at all like getting there. So knock on from Bell this time. Good competition in the air by the Penguins. And they've got the ball, some possession in Launceston's half. But pass goes to the ground. So we're going to come back for the knock on in the air from Vincent Bell. But just a bit of panic from the Penguins there. Unsure what to do. They had some possession and just threw the ball away.
Not too sure that the passing isn't that accurate, unfortunately. Normally their catch and pass is really good. Taroona have got, normally their catch and pass skills are, you know, probably the best in the comp, but struggling with their catch and pass today with their unforced errors.
Yeah, retaining possession. You know, they put it always or early, you know, putting some good phases together and then lost it. And now the scrum comes through. Thomas has lifted off the ground, and Dewindham with some rare possession. Bell nearly steals it, and it's knocked on. So the Penguins just nothing going right. I think halftime can't come soon enough if you're wearing blue. And conversely, the pressure from the Tigers just at every breakdown, at every tackle is causing headaches for Taroona. And this Tigers scrum.
Yeah, they haven't quite used it yet. They keep getting that ball out nice and quick. I suppose they're not in the position to use it playing against that wind, but maybe in the second half they'll use it to get some penalties and then kick themselves down the field.
Yeah, I actually thought it was Thomas for Taroona on this side of the scrum. It's actually Fenny, and he just got demolished at the last one. This time, Tigers just take it easy. Oh, that's a forward. That's a good running line there from Chand. Defenders had no idea where to defend there, but just throwing that ball a little bit on the forward side. So just not quite coming off that one for the Tigers. But again,
great line. Great line. He picked the hole and, you know, could have put a bus through there sideways.
That's right. And he had the whole field in front of him there as well. I think Bird was drifting across a little bit wide, and Chand would have been able to put the afterburners on. Penguins with a attacking scrum. They need to get it out and get it out quickly. Towie takes it and dummies. Needs to get through and get to ground, and he does. Wide ball here now. Eddington can't get the offload though. Good defence. And he still tries to push it. Got an advantage here to the Penguins.
Not releasing.
So I think Eddington's knee must have gone to ground, and then he's done pulled the offload. So we'll get away with that one. It must have been an attempted strip, actually.
Yeah, for those at home, that once that knee hits the ground, the tackler needs to release the player and release the ball. So
it's always such a fine line when you're trying to rip the ball, because their knee hits the ground. Even if you rip it, you know, 0.1 of a second afterwards, you're going to end up giving away the penalty. It's tough, but it's just, you know, proactive defence from the Tigers. And the Penguins, good drive on here at the Mall, 5 metres out. They'd love to score some points, the Penguins. Towie now running into some solid defence there by the state's biggest fly half in Agayava, and the Tigers have turned it over. Work at the breakdown from the Tigers, exceptional. Lombard with some space out here too. And he's going to be, that ball's going to be stolen by Lagrange, and something going right there for the Penguins. Good defence. Lagrange getting back quickly. And Towie as well, always there, always making a nuisance of himself at the ruck for opposition. They'll have another shot at it, the Penguins. So positive stuff here for Taroona. They've had 3 or 4 minutes in good field position with a bit of possession, something they've been mostly deprived of.
Yeah, I think they just got to settle things down a little bit. Now that they've got the ball, they've got down here, they've got into, Launceston's red zone. It's time for them just to settle things down a little bit, play some more structure, keep that continuity going, and hopefully they'll get some points from that.
Line out comes to the front, and Taroona take it, and drive is on. They need to get that ball back, though. Now it's in the hands of Fenny at the back. He goes alone, and they better get over him because I think they might have been stolen. Oh, no, Taroona have just managed to pick it, and Thomas tries to go through. It's not on. Now they go to Towie. He burrows low. He's close to the line, but he gets it back, and Lagrange, I think he's been held up too. He'll get it back. I'm going to come back for advantage. I think he must have got it down. I think he was over the line, and maybe it was an extra reach, that second movement that he wasn't allowed. Towie's going to tap it and go. Not going to get past Alatimu though. And the Penguins, some sustained pressure on the line here, but can they score? Now they go wide. They give up on the... Bird running into a gap. Beautiful defence, though, coming across there from the Tigers. They've held him up, too, long enough probably for that to be a maul. He gets it to the deck.
2 players from each side, probably should have been a maul. Ran a really good line, got some good width from that ball. Someone needs to straighten, which was great.
Grange now finds Fenny. This time he brings it in and nearly loses it. They go wide again. Some great defence by Launceston. Just that wide ball there, I think Tuivasa is thinking of the line. Thomas driven back here, so the Launceston defence is just outstanding, and the discipline they just need to maintain as well. Towie driven in a very solid hit. Lagrange looking back to the blind. Lean. Slow to get out of the way there, Launceston. Kazarine taken down. Nobody's with him for a long way. Unfortunately, I think Launceston player there tried to steal that ball and just still lying on top of Taroona. Lucky to not get penalised. But the defence from Launceston is just outstanding. Taroona trying to find a way through, but just there's nothing.
It's a lot better to see, at least they're getting some phases, they're getting some continuity. As I say,
and there's the strip. Yeah. Good strip, and the ball gets kicked back. Chaperone Tucker wants to get this ball, but it goes out. He wants to go quickly. He's not going to be able to now. Touched by a spectator.
Yeah, as I was saying there, probably commentator's curse, but they just started to get, probably 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 phases, getting some continuity, getting a bit more structure, getting organised, which was looking good. And then that strip came in and just spoilt the party.
Should just give Taroona maybe a little bit of confidence there, having had their hands on the ball for a while. See if they'll throw this ball wide and look for Towie again. And this time Hardy. Crowd doesn't like it. Ball's hit the referee there, so unfortunate because it was spilled backwards by Taroona. But it's hit Gardner's leg, so they come away with the scrum here, the Penguins. But it's very fortunate.
Taroona just mixing up their running lines there. The ball went to the player out the pot at the back who landed up being straight behind the player in front of them. There was a bit of a call from the sideline here for an offside or for a block, but there was no defender there.
Yeah.
So rightly so. Gardner played on and let the game flow, which was a good decision.
And that's Hardy there, just who was involved in that, who wasn't expecting that ball, I don't think. It bounced off his chest and he caught it, but he's just come from the field, being replaced by the rather experienced Reece Watts, who's going to go to number 8. And we'll see Anthony Lean back to, I think, his preferred position on the side of the scrum. So a few minutes to go. We've not had a lot of stoppages. A couple of tries though. 4 tries in a very quick succession earlier.
You mentioned it earlier, you know, when Launceston were on their line, they've been really disciplined on defence, so they haven't got their hands in the ruck. They haven't been offside. I think they've only had one offside the entire game. They've been really disciplined around that breakdown and in that defensive line, which, you know, we talked about that at the beginning of the game. Those penalties, you know, give away penalties, it's going to kill you. So they've been really good at just keeping those phases, but being structured in defence.
So they're those 1%ers that win you grand finals. Eddington shut down by Truder. And interesting option to go the kick this time. You got Lean out here, and he's on under pressure here. Lean needs to really track Lombard. He's not going to have the pace though to go with him. So Lombard goes to the boot. Chaperon Tucker, he wants this ball. He wants some space. He's having a look. He and Lombard had a really entertaining duel against each other at a number of occasions a couple of weeks ago when these teams met. And Chaperon Tucker's not really had a lot of opportunity to get involved so far today on that far wing. Fenny, he's lost it again. So Aiden Fenny got out in two hands, and Lean has gone in with the forearm to pick that ball up. He might have jarred his shoulder. It could even be a collarbone. He's hit the ground pretty hard there, though. I don't know whether that's a dislocated shoulder. You just saw the way he hit the deck. Not very pleasant. And we'll take a little bit of time here to see what's happening. But Anthony Lean, a bit of an issue. Maybe a shoulder, collarbone. Just the ball spilled, and then he jumped on it, and he's also been hit at the same time by Lachlan Wood, who was also diving for that ball and put that bit of pressure on. Hope it's not a broken arm. But this might take a little while to deal with, and we may just cut to our holding screen for a little bit here until we're ready for the game to continue playing. So Anthony Lean, Taroona captain, being stretchered from the field. Just another ding in the match for Taroona so far. They're a long way behind, and it's a very long way back. Now their captain's gone, so going to be a tough second half for Taroona. Clock shows 39:39. There's probably 3 or 4 minutes, maybe a few more beyond that. We've had 4 tries, and that stoppage there would have taken a couple of minutes on the clock as well. Be interesting to see how both teams come away from that, having that sort of 5-minute break in play, and what impact that has on the way they go about the restart here. All right, Launceston Alatimu goes blind. Gives it off to Peters, who just easily gets on the inside of Chaperon Tucker. We've seen this before. Dishes it off to Vonnie Yao Yao, and easy as you like. The Tigers, they want to play. They come out from that stoppage and put on a try without a tackle even being laid. So it's all going the wrong way if you're a Penguin supporter. Whereas for the Tigers, woohoo, what a score.
Yeah, Launceston have used that right-hand side of the field quite well. I think that's obviously one of their areas they like to attack, that far touchline. So they've spent a lot of time down that far touchline, and I suppose with pace of some of those, you know, the back three in particular on that far side. Not sure the winger's name out there.
Yeah, George Chaperon Tucker, the defender, or Vonnie Yao Yao?
Yeah, Vonnie Yao Yao, with the speed that he's got, you know, definitely been able to work down that right-hand side and then get that ball out there. I suppose that the big thing, if you look at it from a scrum point of view, I'm not sure if they did or they didn't, but when you go from left to right, you take the half-back out of the game, so you've got one less defender down that side of the field. So half-back Norman Trails, he's out of the game, which means you've got less defender, and that means that you can really get your numbers around the corner.
So you can see on this, just looking on the replay there too, Chaperon Tucker in 2 minds as to who to defend once Peters got around the outside, and he knows out there, TJ, where the spaces are, and that's half time too. Interesting. I thought that seems to be a pretty short half, given that we've had 5 tries. But that's half time. I suppose our clock keeps going, doesn't it? While they're kicking for conversions. But yeah, interesting first half. It's all the Tigers, and we'll be back after the half-time break with the second half, in which Taroona will be coming out, hopefully being able to put something on the scoreboard and make this somewhat of a respectable match for them.
couple of minutes. Yeah, just out of this.
Thank you, mate.
All right, here we are back for the second half. First half has been a blowout. Launceston Tigers have just really destroyed the Penguins. Penguins' just defence, particularly out wide, has not been able to cope with TJ Peters running around the outside. Niels Truder running from inside centre is also having a cracker of a match for the Tigers. And the Penguins, everything to gain from here. They've lost their captain, who was stretchered off after copping a knee to the back, I think was what the call was from our first aid support people. And Taroona now running through. Finney Towie's been good. Nice little work from Aidan Fenny coming in late on the ruck, but the ball goes back really deep there and slowly from the Penguins, and they've been caught a long way behind the gain line. Few substitutions out there for the Penguins as well. We saw Reece Watts come on for Lean when he came off. Now, and they got some numbers out wide, but Watts throws the ball over the heads of everybody. Probably needed to hold on to that a little bit longer. And just Taroona letting Launceston off the hook there. They had a bit of some numbers out wide. but weren't able to capitalise. And now the Tigers on the attack again. Very telegraph pass there from Agaiava. The scarf was nowhere near him. But the support for Launceston's been good. And here's Nundolavu. Scored a try earlier. One of the 5 tries last half. And the ball goes over the head of Bird, but he manages to pick it up and then skips his way through. Shades of what we saw from him last week. Again, deprived opportunity. Scott Eves now on for Lagrange, and he's kicked the ball back and it's been knocked on. So something going right for the Penguins.
Yeah, unfortunately, they started. I suppose they started that first half, got a bit of continuity, and then the unforced error let them down. But using that kick, I think they're going to have to. The wind's calmed down a little bit, so they probably don't have that wind against them like they had at their back in the first half. And probably going to see a fair bit more of them kicking to get out of their territory and try and get some territory down in Launceston's half, I would presume.
Yeah, yeah, definitely agree. I think that's likely the way to play this game. And they really were starved of good field position, Taroona, so they want to make some, but they lose this one. No, they don't. They managed to get that ball out somehow. Finney Towie again, just saving his team from destruction at that scrum. James Holman now. He's someone who can lift a team. So they'll be looking to some leadership from Holman. They're very wide here now. Tuivasa throws just a pass loosely in front of Bird, manages to take it, but then he's lost it there. Bird as he's gone into contact, and it'll be turned over.
I think they might have been running a bit sideways across the field. They used that ball with width again. They got that ball out, had a few opportunities, but that sideways running is, it's obviously easier to defend, and someone's got to step back on that inside. And I think that's what Bird tried to step back on that inside just to straighten things up, but probably needed to straighten that line up a little bit earlier.
Yeah, some I think interesting combination too. They've got Jordan Eddington playing at number 13, who's not played there. He came into that position late in the season, and I think he's a great one-on-one defender, but I think he's sort of struggled being out of position in defence and in attack as well. He loves space, and he's quite an elusive runner for a biggish guy, and he's just not been afforded any by the Tigers today. Defence has been very tight. And this ball, little chip, it's going to just get into the hands of Jewindham, who hammers that into Bird, who manages to slip away from the initial tackle from Nisa Rodabua. And now they've got some space. Here he is, speaking of Jordan Eddington, running through the tackle, and Taroona, line break. Haven't seen very many of those from them. And another strip ball. But they're offside, those defenders. Good strategy from Launceston there, though, going the strip. Taroona have been pretty lax in their carry a lot of the time, and it's almost a 50-50 bet attempting to take the ball from them that you're going to get it.
Very much contrast to the first half. I think Taroona have come out. They definitely run onto the ball. They're running for more depth. They got more pace. Hitting that ball a lot harder. So I think that's definitely going to get them a lot more go-forward ball. You can see there they've made quite a few metres on their carries, which is good. And now they just need to make sure that those unforced errors don't let them down, I suppose, to finish things off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they've really nothing to lose from here from Taroona. 31 points behind, and they've got to do something. So playing with a little bit more risk in their game might be something that can pay off. And a rare penalty really there too. We've just had very few, both teams being very disciplined in their play. Holman taps it down, and Harrison just manages to get his hands on it. Eves now coming on and directing play. Comes in, he'll go to Kazarine, looks for Tuivasa running a straight line, and he bustles through, but he's got to get himself to ground there. He's again just got through that first line of defenders and then tried to go himself, and in the end he wasn't able to get to ground, so they're going to lose it. It's just decision making in that situation there with TJ Peters right in front of you. We're going to see a sub. So Lewis Thomas coming from the field for the Penguins, being replaced by Matthew Brocklehurst. Good defence from Launceston. Just holding the Penguins out.
You can see when he ran onto that ball, he's running at pace, he ran a good line, hard line, but I think he was probably a little bit isolated. So by running that pace and that line, you've got to make sure that you close that gate and get those people to help you so you can get down to the ground and get the clean out.
Yeah, he started off very wide, and it was a good run. Like where he ran to was really helpful. And wow, Taroona turned it over here, and Towie goes quick. These guys are all offside here, and there's the call. And Towie goes over. Well-deserved try for the big fella from Taroona, and they finally managed to peg one back from the Tigers. Finney Towie has been exceptional. Came down to the club here last year from Burnie, and is a real favourite amongst the players here. Finney, a lot of support for him, and well done, earning himself a try.
They've definitely come out to the second half. They've picked up the pace. They've picked up their, I suppose, the depth they run at as well. So they're running onto that ball a lot harder. They're getting good go forward, and then when you got good go forward, it puts you to your opposition. Defensively, it puts you, on the back foot. You got to scramble to get into defence. You got to make sure that you get back on side and that sort of stuff. So by picking up the pace of the game and running onto that ball, it's definitely changed this game.
And the Penguins now 7 points on the board. That's a good start for them this half. Can they keep it up?
Yeah, I think Scott Eves has come on at scrum off, and he's also picked up the pace of that ball. He's got the ball out a lot quicker. They've got a lot quicker ball into the into the phases, which has been good. His service has been nice and clean. It's only 8 minutes into the second half, but I think that's definitely been a change. That's been better.
Yeah, he's certainly been their #1 pick in that position for the season, but he's also had some injury issues, and he did play last week and came off, I think. So probably he's been on the bench more just because of injury. So hopefully he can last out the game. And Taroona now with some more possession. Cannell on the field. So bringing most of their subs on, and they got some room out wide now. Bird gets past Bell. He's got Shapper and Tucker away. Shapper and Tucker goes back to Bird, but they're going to track him down. Don't hold on to him. And now they go. So Watts has got in there and support. And Taroona causing some headaches for the Tigers in the second half. Bit of a surprise. So they've come out to play. Now they go wide. They need to straighten up though. No one there with Tuivasa. Got himself isolated a little bit there with that pass just running across the field. Now Brocklehurst. And Launceston just let Taroona take that ball. They go wide here. Eddington hangs onto it though. He had two outside him. Could have given it. Eves now to Harrison. Oh, cop one over the shoulder there, Harrison. Say that's what the penalty advantage will be for. Eves, he loves a little dart. Thrown back by Dudman. And the Penguins with advantage here. Towie trying to get some more points for his side. About 10 metres out. Just need to be patient, the Penguins. And no one's spilled out, so no advantage. Eves will probably look for the quick tap. He does, and they're offside again out there, the Tigers. No way that player was onside. He wasn't even back behind the 5 metre line. But they'll go through, and they go look for a quick ball again from Eves. Where's he going to go wide? Tuivasa. No, it goes at one hand. And it's been turned over. Peters is going to run all the way and score here, which is a bit of a tragedy because the Launceston players were a mile offside back at that quick tap. And TJ Peters, the legend, runs about 85 metres, and Launceston hammer another one home.
It's a pity for Taroona. They'd really, as we talked about them getting their phases, they'd worked hard at getting good go forward. They started to get the defence out of line, but then an unforced error, unfortunately, has just let them down.
That's right, and it's again just you see two of us are running at that ball and throwing one hand. I don't know whether the passer was that bad or not, but he's thrown one hand out to try and catch it rather than getting two out.
We've seen a bit of that today.
Yeah, just expecting the passes to be in the right place rather than showing where you want that ball. So that's a disappointing one there for the Penguins, but great work from TJ. He's classy, and he's going to make you pay with mistakes like that. Conversion's good. And we're back to a 31-point ball game.
TJ, number 10, yeah?
Yeah, lots of subs happening now. I think Launceston have brought Agayava from the field. We'll see TJ Peters go out to fly half and Matakatoa coming in, and now Lombard bouncing off tacklers. It's not a bad option there from Shapper and Tucker to try and go the intercept, and just forced Lombard to hang on to that. Tuivasa made I don't know, didn't really even try to tackle Lombard as he came through. He was under pressure. And now Taroona backs against the wall again. Launceston, some possession, which they've not really had this half. Nearly 15 minutes down. It's been all Taroona so far, except for that turnaround try from Peters. And now the Tigers will have an opportunity. No, they've turned it over. So Eves fishes it out. Gives it to Kazarine. Needs to put that ball back, he does. Towie lying down in the middle of the field there. I think he's probably just needs a break. He says, oh, wait, my team's got the ball. I better get back to my feet quick. Brocklehurst, a little lob pass there. Dave Scarf. Sorry, Nandolavu, time to get up. And then Eves sees a bit of a hole back down there and boots it down and puts it into touch. And must have been touched. What was it? Wasn't a 50-22, was it? Must have been. Oh yeah, it was 50-22. So that's a cracker of a kick there from Scott Eves. He was just inside.
So it must have just been inside
his own
the 22
half
as well.
Yeah, looked like the ruck had maybe spilled over into Launceston's half, but the ball must have always been there. And they've bungled it though, Taroona. They'll get a free kick though. Launceston jumping early. Trying to get there quickly, and the ball given to Finney Towie after he's had a bit of a rest. Aiden Fenny again, a loose carry from Fenny, and the turnover. They're going to throw it out wide. They've got defence out here, but the defenders get easily stepped by Chand, and Bird gets fended. He now puts it to the boot, and through it goes. And Vonnie Yao Yao runs onto that one. And all it takes is some possession for the Tigers. And they're going to run a long, long way and score. And it's all going wrong for the Penguins. Reece Watts is... not
too sure what happened there. I think Reece pushed him in the back, and then he landed up falling on the player on the ground. And then he got to push it when he stood up. So I don't think there's much in it at all.
No. I
really like the way he used the fend. I think that's one of the things we try and teach our youngsters is put the ball on the side closest to the touchline and use that hand to fend your player when you come in, when they're coming across the field. And he used that fend really well to fend off that player and keep going, which is some of the stuff we often don't see, particularly in our youngsters, and it's good to see it at this level to be able to show those youngsters.
See it on the replay here, Chand. He steps inside. This fend swaps the ball to the right hand so he can fend. Just in the back play there, the conversion's been good. Just see Voni Yayo actually passed that ball off to Nisa Rodabua, and I don't know what Watts was doing there, gave a push, but he gets a bit of a hand to the face here from, just to the neck. There's nothing in it. I don't know. Nothing really for Watts to be particularly upset about, I don't think there. We'll come back, and it's now 40-7. Or have I missed one? I might have missed the try. It might be 45-7. Okay, kick goes high. It is 45-7. And here he goes. Callum Lyle, he's got Scarf on his left-hand side. They eventually get there. And the Tigers are going to be looking to turn this into an absolute drubbing. Peters, through again he goes. He has a look. Who's he got? He goes wide. It's Chand. He goes over, and it's all too easy if you're in red and black and yellow. But they've just put this game so far beyond doubt with entertaining rugby. I don't think many people would have expected to come to this game and see a scoreboard with a margin like this. 50-7 right now. And really, Launceston are just playing with Taroona. But excellent rugby. TJ Peters again, as he came around with that the ball in his hands. Just ball in two hands from Peters. Steps through a couple of tacklers who really didn't get their feet close enough. Just let him go. Good pressure in the end attempt from Shapper and Tucker to get there, but Chan too good.
I like the way Peters had the vision to see the players outside. He didn't just look on his initial right-hand side because he could see there was a defender as well. So he threw the wider ball over where there were more players. Really good vision for him to pick that up and see where that space is.
That's right. There were 3-on-1 out wide as well. Could have passed the short ball, but there was a defender there that might have shut that down. Peters with the kick. Stays to the right, and the score stays at 50-7. Not good news if you're a Penguin supporter. But it's going to be a very different margin to what we saw in the grand final last year, with the Tigers putting this well beyond doubt that they are the #1 team for this season. First 10 minutes of the half, Taroona were looking quite good and putting a lot of pressure on. Nearly had a second try, and in the end, though, Launceston just making Taroona pay for simple mistakes. Ball taken by Taroona. Now the ball goes to Fenny. He looks to the blind, bumps off Callum Lyle. He's got to get that ball in, but he's taken into touch. So good effort there by Fenny to try and create something when there's not a lot on. And another sub coming. Michael Smith for Taroona coming onto the field. Fenny coming for a rest.
Not too sure that was the right option to go on the blind side. I think sometimes when you get behind the, the scoreboard, you try and do things a little bit out of character, or try and do things to try and make the difference. And maybe just sticking to your structures is a better idea in a situation like this.
Katoa. Under a little bit of pressure, goes to ground, and the Tigers, wobbly pass there to Peters. The Penguins pounce on him. Haven't rolled very quickly though there, the Penguins, way too slow. And a rare penalty. Normally, we usually see a lot more at this end of the game. Tired players, 20 minutes to go. And that was a case of laziness, really, or cynical, slow rolling from Taroona.
We haven't seen many penalties in the last few minutes. You've seen a lot of a lot of running rugby, which has been outstanding.
All right. Oh, weird jump in the line out there from Taroona. Trying to get there, and the pass is hammered, so Katoa hammers it through Peter's hands. Nandolavu nearly loses at the bottom there, but they get it back. And Peters with a little short chip here. Bird can't spot it, and you can see the sun causing a bit of problem for him. And now he's not going to get to ground, and the Tigers just pouncing on absolutely everything. And they'll win that one right in front of their bench as well. And they're loving it out here, the Launceston Tigers.
Good spotting of space in between, I think it was Bird at the back, and getting that ball just to drop in between them. And then the sun is playing havoc for Taroona at the moment, right. I think.
Just another sub that didn't catch before. Porcello is on in the hooker position for the Tigers. Taroona seem to have turned that one over.
And Jack Berry's on the sensors there.
Oh, he might have rolled too many times. No, gets away with it. And Eves will give it to Brocklehurst. Watt's got his hand up in the air, wants someone to come. Maybe he wants to come from the field himself. Smith running a nice little line out there through Truder. And takes Vutoa with him for a 5-metre run. Now Holman puts it out in front of Berry. He's trying to get involved, having come on the field. And quick work from Eves to get that off to Watts. Spins through the first tackle. Taroona back on the front foot. And they go really wide here. Kick goes behind. There's a lot of room back there. Bounces awfully in the end, but Bird's now got a little bit of space. Can he dish it off to Eddington? No, he loses it. I think it's forward. No, it's maybe must have gone backwards and has been knocked on by Launceston. I thought it came forward from Bird. Brocklehurst now runs into Briggs, who's also come on this half in number 24. Bird out there taking that ball, running back inside, dishes it off to Hall. Just side to side here, the defence just waiting for Taroona to come to them. Holman runs into, but not through Lyle. And now they look wide. Kazarine has a look before he's caught that one and then throws it over the head. Chaperone Tucker runs in, cops a high one over there. And the penalty is going to come all the way back. Not sure what that was for. We'll see referee Gardner, I'm sure, make us... No, he's got an assistant coming on. We'll see what eventuates here.
Come on, Tigers!
See what happens. Long conversation here.
Come on, Tigers!
I don't know what's going on. It's a lot of words. A lot of words being spoken.
I think there were two different situations. I think one was, you know, maybe not clearing a right, not rolling away, and one looked like it might have been offside. So he's asked him to speak to the players, and I did see him show the offside line. Yeah. So I think that's what the second penalty was for. The first one was something else, and I reckon he's probably just spoken about the fact that's two in one movement, which means you've got to be mindful of the area you're in.
All right, so Penguins with an attacking chance here. Holman. Always dangerous near the line. I don't know who that was. TJ Peters didn't really need to make much of a defensive effort there with the scores as they are. But James Holman puts 5 points on, easy as you like, for the Penguins. Not that they've had a lot of easy opportunities today. But they pegged one back.
Bit of a soft defensive effort that I think, I know Holman's a big guy, and, he's tall and he carries well, but I think the the effort of defence there was very unusual to what we've seen during the game so far. I'm not sure maybe if they were caught unaware of where the ball was going, but it was very different to what we've seen so far during the game.
Yep, conversion to come from Kazarine. And he hits the post and misses. 50-12. And substitution for Launceston. Nice Rodabua's come from the field, and Jay Druava coming into fullback. Nice Rodabua, pretty quiet day at fullback for him. He's not really been put under a lot of pressure from Taroona. And the kick finds Holman. Nice tackle from Scarf around the knees of Holman. Brocklehurst. Cannell driving through the ankle tackle of Peters, and the ball's chipped through, and we'll have a line out inside Launceston's half with their throw-in. Good jump by Bell, and Katoa manages to pick that one up at the bottom. Lyle comes in, finds the halfback position. Scarf fending, gets his body to ground, and they've got numbers around the side. Cannell can't get across to Truder, and they dish it over, and there's a foot in touch there by Lombard, but good run down that sideline. Eves just looking to put a little bit of pressure on, trying to create something.
There's a narrow channel out here on this far side. It probably should have, in hindsight, stepped back in and try to keep that ball alive.
Probably had a couple of players on his inside, but there was defenders there too. So anyway, Eddington not sure what to do out there. Under pressure from Nettie Francis, and just has to run into the tackle. Holman slips through Bell, fends off. Manages to push a pass away. A little kick through from Chaperone Tucker, but he loses his footing. And now Launceston have got the ball, and they got some numbers out wide. Look out, TJ Peters. Someone better shut him down. Hall does. Katoa comes in now. Looks for a wide pass out there to Nondolavu. And Lyle comes around in support. Can't offload though. Oh, Katoa sees a bit of a gap. Eves has got him, but he gets it off, and he finds Vutoa, who's under pressure close to the line. Manages to keep his footing and stay in. Eventually they bundle him over the line though, and a lot of pressure out here from Launceston. And another sub. So Nate Few coming on for the Tigers, and he will replace Ryan Dudman. No. Niels Truder.
He's got a good game tonight, Niels. He's found a bit of space. He's showed his pace.
Absolutely.
Been really physical out there. Good catch and pass skills. I think he's really had a good game out there in the centres.
Yeah, when these guys played last time, he was playing in the the outside centre role. So it was quite a different game for him. And in that inside centre today, he's been exceptional. Really made a lot of line breaks and put a lot of pressure on the Taroona defence, and they've just not been able to contain him today. So great game from Niels. So the ball out here was lost by Launceston. Must have been trying to keep that in play. 10 left in the match. 38 points in it. Unfortunately, Kazarine's kick has been well read by Lombard, and he spots a gap. He's going to score from here. All too easy He hasn't got one yet today. He usually does. And Kyle Lombard, untouched off a misdirected kick from Noah Kazarine, puts on another 5-pointer for the Tigers. And it is raining tries for the Tigers.
Yeah, read that kick pretty well. Turned, received, and then just straightened up, and there was a hole. There was no one in front of him.
You just see him when you can just watch him change. I'll whack it back on the replay once he sees that gap in front of him. So the kick really needed to go. I don't think he was aiming for anywhere out there. It was meant to be shorter. And look here, he sees the gap now, pins his ears back, and easily gets around Jewindham, who was coming across in a desperate attempt to defend. And all too easy. Just trying a few different things, the Penguins here and there, but just really very few things are actually going their way, and not a lot coming off that they've been able to throw at the Tigers. And the Tigers, with all this confidence that a big first half score brings, they've just been able to play at will and do whatever they want. Taroona with so much defending and watching Launceston run 50-metre tries in, they getting a little bit on the tired side. Peters now, through he goes again, gets past Eves. He looks for Lyle on the other side, who's taken to ground by Bird. And Peters gives the ball off. Katoa manages to keep that one backwards. And stripped from Eves.
They needed to get quick ball out of the right-hand side.
That's right. And instead they go blind. And defence cover that easily. Eves is going to look blind again, but there's nothing on. So he finds Kazarine, who gives it off to Holman, who wasn't quite ready. Berry straightens up, but... oh, yeah, they eventually get there to support him. Now Eddington, he's got Chaperone Tucker, who puts the left boot on it. That's a good kick, that one. It gets over the back. It's going to fall for Chaperone Tucker. He gives it off to Eddington. Great work there from George Chaperone Tucker. And Jordan Eddington, with a bit of a hobble at the end there, manages to put on some more points for the Penguins. But a really good solo effort in a way there from George Chaperone Tucker. A little left foot kick, bounced really badly for the Launceston defender down there. Poor old Drava was just bounced straight back over his head, and Jordan Eddington was able to finish that off.
Didn't have any options out there. He was probably, had a long ball coming across. He had to kick it.
Yeah, that's right.
Normally, or not normally, but I suppose today, Taroona haven't got the rod of the green, but on that occasion they did, and it was good to see them following up and chasing up, and then a really good vision. Once he caught that ball, he had that communication from outside, or sorry, on the inside, and passed that ball off.
It was, yeah, really well-timed pass as well. Like, he was under pressure from behind, and I almost thought he could have gone himself, but the pass was the right option, and Eddington was able to put that down, give his team a little bit more respectability on the scoreboard. Back for the kick, and Peters taking his time now. No need to rush if you're a Tigers player. All right, we're ready. It's a great kick. Holman will get there. And some pressure from Braden Dorr now on the field. And Taroona go to Brocklehurst. It's been good since he's come on. Quite a few carries. Very trustworthy player. And the pass from Kazarine. It's been turned over. And look out. It's Josh Vutoa. And he's got the try line. And he goes over. And No sooner have Taroona put some points on the board that Launceston hit back and just negate anything that the Penguins are able to do. Unforced errors again there too for the Penguins, that drop pass. Not the kind of thing that you want to see if you're a Penguins fan.
I think Launceston again, those errors that Taroona have, unforced errors, but Launceston were really good to scoop those up and, when there's broken defence and really making the most out of those opportunities.
Yeah, that's right. They make you pay, and you can think there's probably maybe four tries, I think, that have come pretty much directly from an error, whether they're unforced or forced errors, just drop balls or
pressure.
Yeah, that's right.
Those two.
Grand finals pressure. Kick from Peters way out wide. Looks pretty good. Just falls to the left-hand side. So a couple of minutes tick over on the clock. 5 more points to the Tigers. And it's a 43-point ball game. Taroona would love one more in these dying minutes, just to finish on a bit of a positive. And it's a nice kick there. It'll fall on Bell. And he's taken by the untiring James Holman. And they go to the blind. Porcello. Tackled, make not a lot of metres. And now Scarf. And they look wide. Peters, he's got the kick. This one, Dewindham should be able to get there. He does. And he steps nicely through Lombard. Runs into a good tackle, though, down there from Druava, who doesn't release. And Eves goes quickly. Has a look. Harrison's there. Again, second rowers. Well, Harrison playing actually as a flanker today.
Oh, turnover.
Turned over. Katoa looking to try and break his way through. In the end, just throws a pass to no one. But that's all they need out here is passes to no one. And these Launceston players will be looking for any opportunity to throw a try-scoring pass. But that one's forward. And we'll give Taroona a scrum. 15 metres from Launceston's line. Yes, now's the time we start talking about players of the match and who we think has really directed their team and created impact. It's pretty hard to go past TJ Peters as a strong leader on that side for Launceston.
I think from a Taroona point of view, I suppose someone like Ollie Bird at the back there, he's had a fair bit of work to do. He's made some good runs. He's hit lines really hard. He's straightened up. I think he's been good. I think was it Scott Eves that came on at half-time at scrum off? I definitely think that game changed when he came on. I think he sped the game up. He had better service. Ball came out quicker. Potentially had more maybe more direction from a scrum off point of view, and I think that's been really good for Taroona. So I suppose from a Taroona point of view, those are two that I think are in the mix there as well. Even though they're in a losing team, it doesn't mean that they haven't had a good game. Yeah,
that's right. And, yeah, definitely, comes down to playing your best, and those guys that you named certainly have done that. I think Truder, who came off earlier as well, Niels Truder is really outstanding out in the back line for Launceston. But the whole Launceston forward pack, really, their defence in that first half that really held Taroona out. You probably can't, it's hard to single anyone out, but they were really, really outstanding. The entire
really
tight five, particularly.
Sets a platform. If they got good defence, you know how much defence can win games, and if you've got really good defence, you can really keep that structure, and cause frustration by the opposition, and then that causes those unforced errors.
Right,
Must be into the
scrum here.
final minutes.
Definitely close. I don't think we've had a lot of hold-ups in this half. Oh, ball's been won there by Taroona. Oh, really? So, illegal scrummaging there. Taroona standing up in the front row. Don't know if that was Brocklehurst. I think he was still standing on the spot saying, "Who, me?" As if. And Launceston probably one last shot at it, and they decide that they want to score again. So defensive time here for the Penguins.
Launceston bench are all up on their feet.
That's right. So the spectators are also in the bench area. They're waiting to run on. They can sense this final whistle. Line out throw taken, and they go wide. Scarf has a look. He finds a gap and he's through. Look out. Looking for some support. Dewindham gets there, grabs him by the ankles and lays it back. And they got numbers. Dorr tries to get around the outside. Holman won't allow it. And they might have stolen this one, the Penguins. Yep, they have. So they'll get another shot at it. And Eves loves the quick tap. Away he goes. He's got Watts. There's not a lot of option out here, though, so Jack Berry rides the tackle of Nandolivu, and you don't see that very often. And they got numbers out wide. They need to push it. Hall runs back into traffic, though, flings it wide. Behind. Might have been over the shoulder in that tackle on Nordstrom. And Taroona will have another go. Fiu takes the tackle on Harrison. Eves now to Watts. He goes through himself, tries to get the fend on, but can't do it. And I think we're going to see Kyle Lombard penalised for not rolling away there, and Taroona will have another shot at it. Now they go to Holman. Manages to bounce through pinball style. 3 tacklers. Good work there from Harrison. They've got numbers out wide here now. Berry needs to straighten up. Dewindham was running on an inside line there. Would have been good if he could wrap around, but didn't quite have the pace to get there. And Eves now gives it off to Smith. Interesting high tackle there from Dawes. Just jumping up. Was effective in the end. And now Watts getting involved again. Eves having a look. Finds a wide pass to Kazarine. Puts it out in front. Well picked up by Nordstrom there on the bootstraps. And a couple of young players, but the strip there again. And knocked on. I reckon we'll see full time here. We do. So Taroona throwing everything at it in the last few minutes, but unable to put any extra points on the board. And that is a resounding victory to the Launceston Tigers. 62 points to 19. I don't think anyone would have predicted a scoreline like that, Sean.
No, definitely not. I know coming into this final, I was really expecting it to be a very, very tight game. Probably a similar game to we had last year in the grand final. But, you know, hats off to Launceston. They've obviously worked hard and looked at, you know, since playing Taroona the last time and playing them today, they've worked hard and looked at a few things and obviously, you know, made some improvements and come out on top.
That's right, and a lot of early pressure, and I think a couple of strategic things really from Launceston. They probably picked on some weakness that they perceived in Taroona in that out-wide defence. They scored a few of those early tries just with particularly TJ Peters looping around and just creating an extra man and leaving Taroona's wingers in 2 minds as to who to defend, and they were able to get around the outside or through gaps out there. So just a lot of experience there, and really they've, you know, had a good look at Taroona over the last few weeks as well. Got to see them playing against them and see them, you know, against the Bulls last week. And I think some really good coaching and good decisions there in strategy of just allow them to really exploit a lot of those things. So great game. Congratulations to the Tigers on an amazing win today. Very surprising to everyone, maybe except the Tigers. I don't know. They may have had that confidence. But great season of rugby. And we'll call it quits on our stream there. But thanks all for watching. Thanks for your support of rugby. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Deon.
And we'll see everybody next year when season 2024 comes around.
move everyone up over there.
We're going to go down to the concrete area.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Everything's like they're all.
I'll go.
Thank you. Shane will talk about
See you next Friday night.